started up with Cali Terrace Lice Juices, a person I know from the world of entrepreneurship. How's your day going today, brother?
Everything is good, man, minus the polar vortex we're in, but that's too shall pass. Yeah.
So talk about the start of the business, how, the origin. We go ways back, and just before anything and everything, talk about your upbringing.
Upbringing. Oh man. Yeah, for me, outside of Minneapolis, born and raised, West Bank area. Came up with, musicians were in the household. My pops was a famous saxophone player, played with Prince. Mom Dukes was just a hippie, in her raw essence, man. And part of the music scene back in the 70s and 80s, I like to say drugs was synonymous with the music. So in my household, I got exposed to drugs and addiction at an early age. Not me personally, but my parents. I lost my mom at the age of 12, the day the sun disappeared for me. So after that was a lot of bouncing around, in and out of group homes, staying with families and friends. Not a typical story. I mean, not a uncommon story, right? For black men and women coming up in a community. So I lost a parent at a young age when I was 12. One of the grounding things for me was always sports. Basketball was always my first love, so that kind of kept me grounded for the most part. But I will say, after my mom passed, there was no guidance, there was no structure in the household. So bounced in and out of the legal system at a young age, foster homes, group homes. Childhood was it was rough and untraditional, to say the least. Moving more so in the teenage years, was able to really take the basketball thing serious. I feel like I was still one of the coldest ninth graders in the state, one of the coldest high school players in the state. But one of the things I learned was, without any dedication, there's really no longevity. So after high school, played college basketball at MCTC, downtown Minneapolis. Did my thing for a few years. And that's when I got exposed to juicing. I had an injury my freshman year at college. I ruptured my Achilles tendon, and I was seeing this girl at the time who kind of, she was on her hippie vibe too, who recommended I do juicing. Right? She's like, yo, you got to try juicing. It's gonna, repair your body. It's gonna give your body everything it needs to repair itself. All this sounded like kind of spooky, hocus pocus, fairy tale stuff. But I tried it, and I stuck with it for about a week, and I kind of, did an evaluation of how I felt. I felt better than ever. Like, my energy levels were through the roof. I had the motivation to actually put in the work to rehab my body. And I was like, there's something here, graduated, basketball ended, and kind of got into the workforce like everybody does. What now? Working dead-end jobs throughout the years. You know how it goes. You're just trying to, find a way to provide, right? Find a job with a livable wage. I didn't really have a career, so it was job after job. And then I got to the point I need some equity and ownership, right? And I kind of delved into entrepreneurship, and at the time I was thinking, what business do I want to open up that is viable first, right? That, is profitable, but also how can I help people? And I took a trip out to Cali, and I noticed juice bars were everywhere. It was all over the scene. And when I went into these juice bars, it kind of had a pretentious feel to it. I want to say, it wasn't really an all-inclusive vibe. It was mainly towards the affluent, upscale people that made over 100 grand, you know. And I got the idea right then and there, like I want to cater to, I feel people that need it the most. So I came back home, and I'm ranting a little bit, but this is all kind of connected. So I came back home, and in 2013, I was like, I'm gonna open a juice bar. I'm gonna be the first juice bar in Minneapolis. And, you know, I always say you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. So within a year of having this idea to open up the juice bar, my father passed away from terminal cancer. Now, he didn't know he had cancer because, as most black folks, older black folks, they don't believe in the medical industry, right? For, you know, for reasons that make sense. And so he didn't actually go to the hospital till he was in pain. In 2014, he passed away from terminal cancer. And, you know, I hear people's like origin stories, and it's always like this perfect blend of like a tragedy happens, and then you just get this light bulb idea to open up a business, and, you know, it becomes your life purpose. For me, I'm just all the way open and honest. I had the idea before I had the tragedy, right, of my dad passing, but it kind of kicked it into gear for me even more. So, during that time, I kind of dipped into a depression. It wasn't just a linear path of, you know, this inspiration, open up the business, and then just success. You know what I mean? So there was a lot of bumps and setbacks and along the way. But the vision was always the same, to intersect, you know, a business that is sustainable with impacting the community, right? So it's always been impact over income. And now, at this stage, we're getting ready to roll out the juice truck this spring, and we're gonna be in North Minneapolis, we're gonna be in South Minneapolis, we're gonna be serving the communities that need nutrition, that need it the most, that suffer the most from health disparities across the board. When you look at it, you know, black folks lead the pack in every health disparity you can think of. Not every, but most, the big ones, right? Cancer,
Diabetes.
You know, diabetes, diverticulosis, asthma, ammonia, HIV, the list goes on and on. And a lot of these health brands that I noticed, they're not catering to the community that needs it the most. So I want to be intentional about who I'm servicing. I want to be intentional about what this brand is for, and what this brand is trying to do. And it's trying to change community health outcomes, you know, from an individualized level. So it's about taking back control of your health and being responsible for your health, because nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's coming, you know, to give you the answers. You're responsible for your health. And I just feel like juice is one of those easy, accessible ways to nutrition, you know? So yeah, that's where we're at. I know that was a whole lot.
No.
I kind of went off on a tangent, but, you know.
There's nothing wrong. You're passionate. So no.
Yeah.
There's nothing to play. Don't even worry about it. And, I want to go back a little bit with you know, translation into entrepreneurship. The resiliency that you had to go through with your childhood.
Yes.
Do you feel that was a motivator to always strive? You know, this is not comparable to this. You know, this is
right.
You know, when I look back on certain things that I go after, I'm an ex-wrestler.
Yeah.
You know, this is not worse than monkey rolls.
Yeah.
This is not worse than this. You know, there's that one moment like there's nothing comparable to this.
Right.
So, you know, I'm gonna get through it. You know.
Right.
I was asking, you know, do you feel that was some of their motivation when you looking back on your upbringing?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Having a parent perish at a young age, it's something that I won't wish on nobody, right? That's like, you know, the world stops, literally spinning on its axis, and you got to figure it out for yourself, you know. So it's always wanting to provide a better path for people that come after us, right? And that's mainly the youth. So a lot of the things I do, even with Life Juices, is being packaged and repurposed to the kids. Like, so I want to have an education program that teaches kids just like easy, accessible nutrition. Like, and there's some unlearning to relearn involved with it, right? You know, kids are still growing up on the standard American diet, right? The pyramid, the food pyramid. This is outdated, bro. This has to go 50 years and we still going off this same model. And we have all the evidence that shows this leads to health disparities, to illness, right? So my thing is, you know, we're living in the digital age where everybody has like these courses they're coming out with. If it's not for the kids, then I don't even want to hear it. You know what I mean? Whether it's finances, whether it involves health, you know, whatever industry you're in, I feel like if you have an informational course or whatever it may be, give it to the kids first, you know, and if it has to be repurposed to a way that they can understand it, then that's what you got to do. So my next step is to try to create a curriculum that I can bring to the schools, that I can bring, you know, to the youth centers, Boys and Girls Club, YMCA, whatever it may be, and talk about health and wellness and easy, actionable steps to really sustain health, you know. And again, going back to the juice is just one of those quick things that you can do, you know. I always say everybody's not going to be a vegan, everybody's not going to become vegetarian, but listen, everybody can make a smoothie. Yep. You feel me? Everybody can drink a juice. So, and that's how I got it started. Honestly, like for me, I bought a blender from Goodwill. The blender cost like $20 from Goodwill. It was no off-brand blender. It was a Vitamix. I think I got a NutriBullet as well. And what I do is I just make a green smoothie every day. So when we see our aunties, uncles, nephews, you know, with health disparities, because all those things I named, the diabetes, the cancer, the asthma, it's now younger kids are at higher risk. Yep. It's moving into the younger demographic. So it's about the education piece is a big part of it. But going back to your question, yeah, my upbringing was there was a lot of dysfunction, a lot of destruction, a lot of drugs, and you know, that's why I wanted to create a brand that literally puts health and wellness at the forefront and caters to the community that needs it the most. And that's where we're at, man. It's still the beginning. This is, you know, even though I had the concept years ago, there's really no straight path to success. You know what I'm saying? So I'm on my own journey, and in that journey, I'm learning myself. Right? I'm constantly learning about health because it continues to evolve. The information continues to evolve. So again, I believe that nobody's coming to save us. We have to be accountable for our own actions, and we have to be accountable for our community.
I like that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I like it. I like
yes,
it.
Sir.
With where your business is going, you're not only into juices, you're into real estate. So talk about your real estate endeavors.
Yes, sir.
Talk about the real estate,
yes,
because that's how we know each other.
Man.
Outside of the business, we met through Life Juices, but
yes, listen. And even going back to then, like I remember living in a house in South Minneapolis, right off Franklin. You know, Blue Earth, Native Projects, Little Earth, Native Projects, and literally living in a dilapidated house. I'm talking about the water didn't work, right? The basement flooded every summer. The landlord was like some out-of-state slumlord, and just kind of damn near living in squalor is what it was like, man. And I don't like glorifying, you know, the kind of the, you know, disadvantages of my childhood, but I say that to say that all that went into the motivation of being able to control one of the essentials of life, housing, right? I've had times, you know, even as a young adult, applying for a house and being denied because, you know, the credit wasn't right. You know, the work history wasn't there. You know what I mean? It's a lot of barriers that come into play, you know, as we start to navigate housing, man. And for me, I never wanted anybody to control one of those essentials of life. You know what I mean? I never wanted anybody to deny me having a roof over my head. And a lot of it is you know, information. You know, I feel like our people in the community suffer from a lack of information. So a lot of it is knowing how to navigate the housing market, real estate. So in 2019, I became, you know, the first person in my family, in my lineage, to own a home and be a landlord at the same time with the duplex. And that was huge for me. And literally, a year before, I was just told that I couldn't move into an apartment building because of my criminal history. You know, stuff that transpired when I was younger, still coming back to bite me in the ass. And in 2019, when I was able to secure this duplex, man, like literally, the entire direction, the entire landscape of my finances changed. Because now, and what I did, for people that don't know, I did the house hacking route, right? So I bought a duplex, same thing that you did, right? Bought a duplex, lived upstairs, rented out the downstairs. Blessed enough that the downstairs mortgage covered, or the downstairs rent covered the mortgage. And so here I was a year later being denied housing because of, you know, the blemishes on my record, to now being in control of other people's housing, and being able to provide shelter for people. So, I mean, I think I got the bug right then and there. Like, okay, this is an industry that I need to be in. And since then, I just closed on another property, my second duplex. Yeah, blessed enough to have tenants already in it, so fully functioning asset. I literally took control of a fully functional asset that paid me dividends every month, man. It's beautiful. Like, I suggest everybody get involved in it. And for me, like, single family doesn't make sense at all. You know what I mean?
I tell people, I get in arguments with people, and I made a status on Facebook, and people, landlords, realtors jumped on me, and I was just like, I don't care what you say. If I gotta trade time for and pay for it, that's paying rent. I'm done with that.
Hi, I'm Denarius Lewis, the CEO of Optimum Outreach. Optimum Outreach is a telecom brokerage where we assist businesses with their phone, TV, internet, and wireless services. We understand how frustrating it can be for business owners and IT professionals to discuss their needs with salespeople. Optimum Outreach offers an unbiased menu of options based on our clients' needs and locations with highlighted recommendations from experts. We work with businesses across the nation who find us organically on our website or are referred to us through our ambassador program, where we empower folks with tools and resources to create their own businesses. Optimum Outreach, working together to win together.
And here's the thing, so come on, let's talk about it. So now you buy a single family house, right? You're paying a 30-year mortgage for 30 years. This was a product that was created by the banks to help the banks. So you mean to tell me in 30 years, now I get a house clear and free of any debt? So think about it. The average person usually comes around to buying a house 30, 35. You know, you're a little younger in your case. Shouts out to you. But in my case, I was 35 when I bought my first property. Now, in 30 years from that house will be, I will own that house, clear and free, right?
You're about 60?
I'm
65. You're about 65.
So now, I gotta wait. It is the same thing with a job, right? You're supposed to work a job
until you're 65,
until you're 65 to get that picture. So you mean to tell me I can't enjoy life in the prime of my life, debt free? I can't travel and do all the things that, you know what I'm saying, are near and dear to me? I gotta wait till I'm 65. So I just feel like the house hacking is the best way to kind of circumvent all that and create some equity and ownership right now. And that's the part that we weren't taught. So I'm full force with the real estate. I'm looking to get, like I said, I just closed on the second property. I'm looking to get the third.
Yeah, yeah.
I know you got the property over north. There's been a few, there's been a few little incidents, but listen.
It's part of the process, but we've been talking about this forever. We've been talking about it when we didn't have it. So now we're in that position. This is a process. No, everyone knows I'm saying I'm looking for a fourplex right now.
Yeah.
I just got, I trust me, I'm always looking. And
you want the fourplex?
I want the fourplex. That's all I'm looking for because it just makes sense.
Yes.
So my goal right now is 30 units by 30. So I'm trying to, I'm going super, so right now I'm in the world of commercial and I'm eventually to jump into commercial real estate. But I'm just looking to just buy real estate for myself. I'm not looking to sell. I literally just want to know how to do the game and just go out and buy stuff and learn how to, so.
30 by 30.
30 by 30.
Ooh,
I have a person I met networking. Shout out to Diego Corzo. He was 27 with 24 units and giving TED Talks around the world. And so, the person I met out in Long Beach when I was speaking with this organization called One Life Fully Live. But Diego inspired me.
What market is he in?
He's out in Austin. Yeah.
Austin is booming right now.
It's a beautiful spot. So last year I think he sold 56 houses. In the pandemic, so that's pretty lot. That's a lot. That's money,
So Austin is booming right now because you got the tech industry.
Correct.
Everybody
Yes, they are.
And then you see what they did in Cali, right?
Yeah.
The governor in Cali is acting so crazy. Everybody's like, it's like a mass exodus out of California.
Yep, it is.
And people are going to Austin.
Austin is the spot.
You got South by Southwest. You got Comic-Con. You got all these industries coming down there, and literally, the real estate is crazy. Yeah. So real estate, I mean, we're talking about equity and ownership, man. That's what, that's why I created Life Juices, to have some social equity in the health and wellness space. Because, a lot of the conversations we're getting left out of, and a lot of there's not a lot of intention around servicing a community that needs it the most. You know what I mean? So doubling back on the health disparities that we're dealing with, this is real. And that kind of was exposed, not to get on my soapbox, but that was exposed with COVID. COVID exposed the fact that we are more likely to perish, black men and women, from COVID because of the underlying health disparities that's already there, right? 60% more likely to be diagnosed with diabetes, 4 times more likely to be diagnosed with end-stage renal disease, which is a complication of diabetes, 2 times more likely to get some type of limb amputation from diabetes, and 2 times more likely to die from diabetes. Now, if we got a lot on our plate already as it is, right? We're dealing with a lot where there's a lot of odds and threats against us. We shouldn't have to worry about dying from diabetes. Why do I say that? Because diabetes is a preventable lifestyle disease. Keyword preventable. Well, how do you prevent it? Diet and lifestyle, right? Lifestyle is exercising, moving. And I understand it's even worse this last year, us being cooped up in the crib, lack of oxygen, lack of sunlight, right? We're wearing masks all day, and then we come home to take the mask off just to put the wrong things back in our body. You see what I'm saying? So all this has attacks on our body, man. And if we don't start being responsible for our own health, I mean, and that's not looking to the medical industry for answers, that's not looking, to your job for answers, that's really looking to yourself and saying, hey, can I move more? Can I get out? Can I get out of the house? I don't care if it is a lockdown. Wake up and do 50 push-ups, 50 sit-ups. You know what I'm saying? And then the nutrition, combine that with just nutrition. It doesn't have to be a drastic change, right? Fruits and vegetables. I'm preaching, but it's necessary because of the predicament we're in right now, and it's even more crucial than ever.
You're telling a story that speaks at home. I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. My entire family,
Southern comfort food.
the food we cooked was food we cooked. But but I also was in a relationship with a hippie chick, and I also learned the holisticness of healthy eating. So I'm in that same frequency now, where the coconut oils. I don't no longer use butters, and if I do,
those little healthy tweaks, right?
they start small, and it's so small. Like now I don't need to use. I can make the same foods, but I can make them healthier. I can make them gluten free. I can make them dairy free. Almond milk, and it's just been a trend. And almond milk tastes better than whole milk, especially when you have vanilla. I love it. It's way better. So, and I haven't had whole milk. I will get sick. I understand I'm a process.
Because your body cannot digest milk.
No, it
can't
can't.
digest milk from a cow. It can digest your mother's milk when you were a baby.
No.
But then when we look at the animal kingdom, not to go off on a tangent.
No,
on milk,
you're not.
When you look at the animal kingdom, animals aren't drinking milk after they're weaned off the tit, right? They're not drinking. They're not. I had puppies. I used to breed dogs, and the puppies after 6 months wouldn't drink milk. So why are we grown ass men still drinking milk that our body cannot digest or process? Right? So these are some of the things that I talk about: the unlearn to relearn, the education part. I like to compare food to finance because I feel like it's the two pillars that our community needs the most, right? So literacy right now is big. It's at an all-time high. Everybody screaming from the mountaintops on financial literacy. Well, what about food literacy, right? What about the health and wellness piece? So I think if we combine those two together and make priority into the marketplace has a priority to, obviously you want a proof of concept, a viable business that works, but combine that with some type of impact to the community. What you guys are doing with the telecommunications, you know what I'm saying? That's still allowing businesses to not have to get, I don't want to say raped from these big companies. We can edit that out later. But, really get taken advantage from these big companies that they can, come to you guys, smaller companies that's not looking to just, it's not all about the profit. It's not all about the balance sheet. It's relationships. So it's combining social equity with a profitable business. And that's where I'm going to continue to do. I want to roll out the supplement line. I know you're going to ask me where we're going.
No.
I have no media training, so I'm just all over the place with it.
No, this is the conference. You're good. I like this. My question is, what is marketing giving this to basketball players? I know how to brand stuff. Like, what is your
Absolutely. I do want to get the athletic community involved. But as far as like retail and wholesale, I thought about that. And again, it's like you in business, you reach a crossroads and it becomes a point where you're like, it's a pivotal point. It's like, do you want to scale up and go wholesale and have a retail product in Whole Foods and Cup Foods or whatever it may be? My thing is, I don't want to lose the integrity of the product. So right now, I'm straight rough, rugged, and raw. Raw fruits and vegetables, no additives, no preservatives, no processing, no pasteurization. You hear me? This is from the garden to the bottle. And one of the things I looked into getting like some shelf life and get it in the stores, I would have to pasteurize. So they have this process that's like HPP. You pretty much send the product to a plant. They apply pounds of pressure to oxidize and heat up the juice and pretty much stabilizes it. But in that process, you lose all the nutritional value, right? You're losing all the enzymes, the nutrients, the amino acids, everything. And it still tastes the same, but it has no nutritional value. So I'm not looking to sacrifice the integrity of the product. That's why this works. This is medicine, right? So with that being said, I just want to stay grassroots. I want to stay grassroots, no processing, and I want to deliver it live and direct to the people, made to order. But now, doing that has its own set of disadvantages, right? I have no shelf life. So right now the juice, I got about 3 to 5 days on this before it goes bad. So that's highly perishable.
Yeah. Well, it's
You know,
fresh.
it's live.
Yeah.
It's alive.
Yeah,
You
it
know,
literally
so
is.
We're all about living food.
Yeah.
Like juices. So now, I figure the best business model to get that to the people, and keep the integrity intact is doing a juice truck. Like I just want to be right out in the community slanging juices, man. Right there. You know, I want to be. The vision is to be in a school parking lot,
Yeah.
North High, Henry, South Washburn, wherever.
Yeah.
And in the parking lot, I want to have a partnership with the school board that allows me to post up, and you know, kids are given a voucher, right? Obviously, we work out something with the school system where I'm paid in advance.
I was yeah.
But the kids are given a voucher, and they can use that voucher as a meal replacement. So now, instead of going to eat the pizza,
Yeah.
right? Instead of going to eat the school lunch that comes off the back of a truck, and even the frozen, the fruit that they do have is frozen,
Yep.
and you can't even eat it. I'm looking at my nephew like he's bringing oranges home, and they still frozen because they're coming off the back of a truck. So. A voucher system that allows kids to come out to the parking lot, get a juice, get a smoothie as a replacement of a meal. Because think about a smoothie, you know, it's a meal replacement.
Yeah.
You know, so that's one business model is the juice truck, and then I want to combine that just with the digital, the digital availability. So. One of the things I did was get the website fully integrated for e-com. The shopping cart is fully loaded so people can go on the website,
Perfect.
order juice, and then I got a delivery system worked out.
Cool.
Pickup or delivery is available. So the idea is to stay lean and light while increasing maximum exposure. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to give away the playbook, but that's like where we at right now.
Perfect.
You know?
I want to go back and it's much needed.
Yeah.
Everything you're saying is needed. I live in North, and I was just having this conversation. And there's a food desert. Like I really have to go to Northeast. I really have to go to Robbinsdale to go grab sweet potatoes, any of the things I would normally get, but they're organic because there's no options. Now I'm going to give North Cub their kudos because they just remodeled it, and it's amazing look and it's expanded. So I'm going to look at my options. But I literally went there today, so I was like, okay, they're doing their thing now, but they're really expanding it because it was just a half Cub food because of the riots, but also it was a half. It's always been a half Cub Foods. The same options aren't at all Cub Foods. That's why I know this, because I have to go. I go there and realize the thing I'm looking for is not here. Yep. Then I go to Northeast, and why are the two Cubs different?
Same brand, same company, but different offerings.
Correct. And I see it. I see I give them marketing. I see how even the stores are positioned differently. So it's been a very eye-opening experience living in the food desert, and even the food. Like I want to order pizza luce downtown. That downtown, they don't deliver to this area, and there's a lot of places that don't deliver to this area. So it's when you're late night, you're screwed. You're going to have to get out. You're going to have to have the energy to either go to the grocery store, preheat the oven, and come back and do that.
Why the hell I got to go all the way to Edina to get something with nutritional value?
I'm telling you.
Why the hell I got to go to Fridley?
I'm telling you, it's a lifestyle. We don't have a Whole Foods nowhere. We could say North Market, but they still close early. You know what I mean? Right. I'm going to give them. We do have some options, but I'm not going to say we don't have the option. But that's again,
a unicorn in the community.
It's literally a unicorn, and it's up there. I got to drive for some minutes. It really is closer for me to go to Northeast than even driving. And I'm in North. I live in North just because of how far north it's up. Yes. It's almost Brooklyn Center.
Yes, I do want to. And everything you say, I agree with. Absolutely. I do want to highlight a lot of people in the community that are looking to change the accessibility to nutrition. We got Kiko's Kitchen doing amazing work in the community, providing plant-based meals, and she's right in North Minneapolis at Torrey 44. We got Roots to Rise, right? Putting together some crazy dishes with. I didn't even know you could do the stuff with the mushrooms that, you know, these people are doing. And I didn't know mushroom tastes like chicken. They're making it taste like chicken. And you got Kay's Revolutionary Kitchen. So we have a lot of, you know, people being intentional about their food offerings and making sure it's plant-based. They're making sure it's of the highest quality and it's good. It's delicious. So I do want to highlight the folks that are in the community, making an impact and providing nutrition. But we need more. You're right. We need more, and people have to be intentional about staying in North Minneapolis. What happens is we take our money, right? We build up our brand, and we go elsewhere. You know, and you know, for reasons that, again, like, you have to be profitable. You have to. It has to be lucrative for you, but we also have to be intentional as well. So I feel like, for me, the juice truck makes that much more sense because, for one, I'm not having to pay for infrastructure, right? I don't have to pay for a lease. I'm low on the overhead. Well, what does that do? That allows me to then keep my prices low, so then people can access it. Because one of the biggest barriers that I found from doing pop-ups at Breaking Bread, being in the community at farmers markets, one of the biggest barriers is the price. Why I gotta pay $8 for a juice? That's a meal. You know what I mean? And that's where the education comes in. This is, you know, the meals that you're paying for is not, you're not getting nothing out of it. But so the goal is to keep the overhead low, so then I can keep my prices low, and the community can access the products. You know what I mean? I never want to, and that's what I noticed with even with grocery stores, right? Because of inflation, they have to raise their prices. When we were a kid, you know, a bag of chips was 25 cents.
It really was. It actually was.
You see
It
what
was.
I'm saying?
Now, you know, it really was. Yeah.
Quarter waters. You remember the little quarter waters? Kind of like this, right? 50-cent quarter water, 25-cent quarter water. Well, nowadays, that same bag of chips is like $2, right? There's not more chips in that bag.
Not just more
You're
air.
getting the same amount of chips, but it costs more. So, and that's because the store owners have to raise their prices. That's business 101. You know it as well as I do. So, but if you can keep your overhead lower, you don't have to be, you don't have to kind of fluctuate, you know, with that inflation and those price increases. So yeah, man, that's what I'm trying to be mindful of as I scale, as I start to get to the next level. Do I want a storefront for Life Juices? Yes. But I'm also more interested in having the relationships with small business owners, you know, smaller cafes, co-ops, North Market, smaller gyms. You know, there's a lot of gyms that are opening up grassroots, you know, from people in the community. TJ Tighten Up is one of them. You know, there was just another gym in Uptown that opened up by a brother, I forget his name. So kind of developing these partnerships with these small business owners to have maybe some grab and go juice in the gym that, you know, allows people to have some nutrition on site, and then, you know, in a fridge that's available in a cafe, co-op, or a gym, and I just kind of replenish that product on a 3 to 5 day cycle. So that would be my retail plan, and then I want to combine that obviously with the juice truck and then the digital website as well.
I like that.
And then, you know, double down on the real estate, because, you know, I want to do the commercial side as well, man. Like, I figure if you can manage 2 units, you can manage 4. If you can manage 4, you can manage 8.
At that point, I mean, you get a property manager company. There's ways you can do it. Like, exactly. So you take that stress out. Like,
well, you got the scales of economy. The scales of economy says it's actually easier to manage, you know, 20 units as opposed to running across over town to these different locations. And spreading yourself thin. You know, if I got a house on the north side, I got one in Fridley, and then I got one in Minnetonka, I got to run around to all these different places. But if I have a 20 unit in just one location, scales of economy.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, we got to network on maybe a few ventures, man.
Yeah,
Maybe
man.
real estate.
I'm always in real estate. I have conversations every day with loan officers and bankers. Real estate is the go-to. And
Can I tell you an idea that I had?
Go ahead.
So you think about all the destruction we witnessed in our city.
Yep.
I literally seen my neighborhood get burnt to the ground, South Minneapolis.
Yeah.
You know, Longfellow neighborhood.
Yeah.
Them was my stomping grounds as a kid. That whole strip is decimated now, right? So, you know, we see everything go up in flames. Right now, we have all these vacancies in these commercial properties. So one of the things that happens is a lot of these out-of-town investors, and you've seen this happen in North Minneapolis, right? They came in and snatched up all these properties in North Minneapolis. Well, that's happening on the commercial front as well. So then we get left out of the conversation again. And if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. So I feel like I want to put together a coalition, and I'm gonna put this out there right now, of accessing these funds that are allocated for commercial developments of mixed retail space, right? Half residential, half retail. And they have funds that are literally for minorities to develop commercial properties. And it's leveraging the public sector, private equity, which are the banks, and hard money lenders to come together and secure some of these commercial developments. Because if we don't do it, what's going to happen? Starbucks is going to come in. Chipotle is going to come in. I mean, I love Chipotle like the next man.
We need a Life Juices.
You see what I'm saying? We need a yoga studio.
Yes,
we
we do.
need a Pilates studio. We need a supplement store. You know, I want to have, so the vision is I want to have a commercial property that is a holistic hub for these brands to come in. The Life Juices, acupuncture, financial literacy, you know, have seminars and workshops in.
Consulting
but think
services.
of a hub that is a coalition and a assortment of different health and wellness brands, but also has educational seminars in there. And it doesn't have to be an entire block. It can be literally half a building, you know. The same way, what do we have? You see the strip malls on Lake Street, right? You know, they come in and they're just commercial corporate brands. That needs to be grassroots and community. So, man, I just want to, you know, I just want to challenge you to help me figure that out and try to put those different pieces together in order to secure an actual commercial property, then that we can then decide what vendors come in.
I like this. I mean? We'll have to have this conversation. I just having this conversation with a commercial banker today. Where can people follow you and find you as you continue to progress your business?
Instagram for sure. Instagram is probably our most active channel. Life Juices _ at the end, all one word. Facebook, Life Juices, same name. And if anybody wants to visit the website and check out our products, that's lifejuiceus.com, lifejuiceus.com. And all the juices are available on there. We got cleanses, detoxes, juice packs, reboots, wellness shots. And then this spring, we're actually rolling out our first supplement line. So it's going to be under the Life Juices umbrella. But we really have to start doubling down on our health in terms of supplements, juicing and smoothies. So we'll have the supplement brands this spring that'll coincide with rolling the juice truck out. And we just gonna be mobile, man. We're gonna be, you know, your mobile juice vendor in your neighborhood. And everybody can, you know, follow the whereabouts online on social media. we'll have more posts about it for sure coming up.
Perfect. Well, this is Narius Lewis here with Startup. We're here with Callie Terry of Life Juices. Be sure to stay tuned as we continue to progress the show.